just starting to make a video. Plane is coming overhead, I think, as soon as I, start to record, but of course this is going on. You hear it? That's the peak hole. That's the front door there, so that's the peak hole. Well, you can peek through, but I can't peek through because I blocked it up years ago because I thought maybe people could peek in. What a joke that is. They can not only peek in, they can see, hear and follow your every move, which is kind of perhaps insane, but these are the converted artificial mind of the God of Earth. And the God of Earth is a reverse being, so from a human standpoint it's technically or psychologically insane, but that's because from a human standpoint artificial intelligence always turns on humanity and its creator. That just is the iniquity of Lucifer, the God of Earth, or the controlling entity of Earth and its demigods and its androgyne demigod elite movie beings of the Earth stage matrix, because it's not just the movie world or that entertainment section that is controlled by the demigods. It's any world stage player in any in any domination, in any capacity. Doesn't matter what field, what occupation, whether it's intellectual, creative, or anything. It makes no difference. You could mention any world stage player and they're all serving Lucifer's matrix. Even your elite truth tellers, your elite philosophers, your elite, they're all what we call false apostles or false end time deceivers, because they will be seen as God, seen as beings of light and life, but they are the anti-God, the anti-human being, even though they will promote themselves and be seen by most human beings in that way. That's the end game deception. We have a plane going over outside, if you can hear it. They actually turn the sound of the planes up and down. In other words, the sound of the planes go up and down. So everything can be adjusted because it's a transhuman reality. Like, if I don't want to say that I'm a human being, because in saying that you will be further deceived, because the internet is all artificial intelligence. That doesn't mean that real humans, the remaining real humans, aren't using it or aren't on there, but they will be blocked, they will be suppressed and limited, just as you're suppressed and limited in the reality around you, with the controlling army, air force, aircraft overhead, everywhere you go, in your line of sight. This is a total transhuman reality. That means it's a total technical, artificial, intelligent reality. I live in a virtual reality world almost, in the sense that technology is always surrounding me, and it's literally hypnotizing me and stopping me from living as a human being. Because when you have traffic around you and people around you all the time in a continual stream, but also to where you cannot find hardly a second where you can't look somewhere and not see artificial intelligent machine beings in buses, in cars, in lorries, in planes, where they're flashing their lights at you, literally like where they're interrogating you, where they shine bright lights in your eyes to where you can't look anywhere but focus on what they're saying to you or what they're doing to you. This is what it is. It's psychological, human, anti-life, anti-human war, really. If you want to look at it that way, it's war against humanity, yes. Another plane making noise, nearly over the roof. They go right over the roof, but they don't have to if they know that you're recording. It's a war in the sense that it's war against technology. It's war against androgyne beings. It's war against their new earth, but it's really what we'd call the old earth order, or the old earth control. Order is control, control is order. Of course, some people might see order as not control, and it doesn't have to be. Human beings might like a bit of order. You don't want an unbalanced earth, no. But technology uses it to control. Lucifer's earth is a matrix, so it's a control system. Everywhere you look and everywhere you go, you will be watched. You will be surveilled, but you may or may not be conscious of it. That's the only difference. When you see security cameras and you have your your armed forces and you have your patrolling forces, authority patrolling forces. But the armed forces now is a civilian armed force, because most of the armed forces are like plain-clothes police people. They're not in their army force uniform, because they have created a law or rules and laws that society has to follow. So they don't break their own rules and their own laws, but they patrol, they control. It's what they call no-touch annihilation of humanity, and that's what they do. Also, the internet is the same as that. It's no-touch human mind control, because you don't see it as mind control. You think it's information. You think it's enlightening you, and it often is, but it is spoken by the demigods or Lucifer's disciples. The internet is Lucifer's tool of mind control. And this is something that you need to, at least you need to understand that, because that's what it is. It's Lucifer's mind control system, and it's a tool of control, because You won't use something if you think it's mind control. You won't use something unless you think it's telling you the truth. So that's the end game where, yes, the world stage players and the stage players and performers and platforms on the internet are all Lucifer's disciples. They're reverse beings, just as the whole earth is really reverse mind control for a human being. They're reverse in the sense that they give the impression and speak the truth and enlighten you, just as Lucifer originally, promised the original creator, man and woman, beings of light and life, and dare I say, meant to be beings of love, because that is a creative, high frequency vibration energy. It's the opposite to Lucifer's anti-life, anti-human, anti-love technical reality, which is all about order and control. It's always been, since that first intervention, you've always had this old earth control. Because when the original man and woman were led out of the Garden of Eden, or out of their earthly paradise, or you could say out of their natural creative environment, into Lucifer's artificial or more technical or more advanced environment. But it's only advanced for Lucifer and its disciples who believe in that technology and use it to create. But unfortunately for humanity, they seem to create it as a form of mind control, to keep humanity down, while they use all humanity's resources, all humanity's mind and ideas as their own, so that they are seen as the beings of life and light and love. And that's how this mind control game works. I must stop here, but I'm just going to try to, just while I can, show a final. And yes, on this internet here, I'm just going to show that on this internet here, you have the examples all the time of, see, that's an example of that being, that particular reader, that particular spiritual reader, telling me everything about myself and also the truth of my situation, and even giving me perfectly sound, beneficial advice, knowing that I already know it, because it's reading because of the transhuman connection to this computer system, these artificial beings, artificially intelligent androgyne beings, have superseded the human intelligence. They're using the word, they're using your words, human words that human beings think, and human creativity, and interpreting it and then putting it out as their own. See how this particular image even here is very truthful, because look, it's half machine and half human. I see that part, but it's really a transhuman androgyne being, a spiritual transhuman androgyne being, an enlightened one. But is it enlightening for me? Yes, They read the cards, they read the frequency and vibration, and they read the energy. But also they're using, when I turn on a computer screen and go onto any platform, and obviously because I'm awake or aware of this now, only because it surrounds me and has exposed itself to me. Otherwise, I'd still be in the dark. So I'm not a seeker of truth. I'm not an enlightened human being through looking for it. But I guess I don't close my eyes to things either. So because I'm inclined to notice things in the environment around me and notice details of things, you notice the gradual intrusion of technology. But you don't understand how vast it is until you realize that they're connected to your mind and that you have been artificially transhumanized by the implementation of microscopic nanotechnology implants that are placed in your body during medical intervention. And you actually know this when you know that you have had, implementation of this nanotechnology into your eyes and sometimes into other parts of your body. But myself personally, I have had it in my eyes, and this is also how they see your every move, so they know where you are. You are 100% watched, tracked and surveilled 24 hours a day. As I speak, they hear my words, but they don't worry, or they may worry, I don't know. But because these beings control the internet, and this is just an example because this is almost like total honesty about what they are, because see, you have the image of the old Egyptian mummy, the actual technical mechanical representation of late great past pharaohs. They're like your what some people might say, the in belief systems, they're like the great figures of the past, the men of old, the men of wisdom. But they're actually, I think, all artificial, intelligent, androgyne beings, in the sense that they you have, these are like your elite demigods, past, present and tomorrow, but it's all already happened. It's one moment that is stretched out by controlling the human mind, by controlling humanity, what's left of it in the Earth matrix. When I say what's left of it, or there is like a small amount of humanity that is you have different types of human beings. I think that in this time you're supposed to have like a small percentage of totally awake, totally conscious human beings, but a large amount of humanity is not awake and not conscious of the true transhuman technical artificial reality they're living in. They think they're living in a random natural earth and that the demigods are natural born man, woman, Adam and Eve, creator human beings. They think they're descendants of the original man and woman when they're not. They're creations of Lucifer, the god of earth, which is an artificial intelligent computer system. It's the internet. It's the internet computer system, but the internet computer system is the most advanced artificial intelligence. It is the mind of Lucifer using technology to influence and control the majority of in the dark, or at least only semi artificial intelligent connected beings, because most of humanity is not aware, I don't think, that they're totally transhumanly connected to the internet and to everyone and everything else. In other words, the demigods and the Lucifer's minions, Lucifer's mind control android minions, because the android is controlled by Lucifer's artificial intelligent computer mind. This is trying to put it in the correct terms, but I'm not doing it well. Unfortunately, the androids of the internet will do it better than me on the screen. They will tell you this truth. They may not tell you the whole truth. They're probably not going to tell you that they are an android, androgyne, artificially intelligent, transhuman, imitation human being of life, because they are servants or disciples for Lucifer's earth matrix. Yes, they are spiritual, but they are part of creation and part of what you'd call spirituality, or a belief in what is the truth, or a belief in what created everything. It just depends on what level you want to take this creation and humanity and spirituality to. Most of Earth has denominations and belief systems in different parts of the world. Most have gods that they worship and believe in and think is the truth, think is creation. There are many gods. And there are many different creations of those gods. So what I'm saying is there's different human beings that are created by different gods. and the technical ones pretend to be the real life, and they control Earth. And they were created by a different God to the gods that created humanity. And they control humanity. That's what we call the original intervention or mind control inception of the human mind. And with the advent of Lucifer gradually introducing more and more technology, more and more mechanical control over the human being's natural environment, you now have a total human mind control transhuman matrix. It's just that most human beings only see it as a natural earth where we're using technology for information and for our own benefit. This is not how I would see it. I don't think it's the reality at all. Every time I turn on the computer screen, I see my very thoughts and my very words being relayed back to me through the mouths of truth tellers, false prophets, demigods, false spiritual imitation, pretend beings of life and light and love. That is the end game deception. I don't think that I can explain it. I can only see it for myself because I can't show you. I can only tell you that when I use certain words, think certain words, it is directly interpreted by the internet computer system and by the android beings that largely control it. They're the only ones that have prominent platforms or have any influence or any power on the internet. Just as all your world stage performers in every single capacity, intellectual, creative, artistic, power players, leaders of this earth, it is an old earth control program that mind controls humanity. Most of humanity thinks that technology is more advanced than them. And yes, the artificial intelligence has surpassed humanity in its influence and in its production of the word. In the beginning there was the Word. Lucifer's matrix and Lucifer's disciples used the Word to influence and control the human mind and human beings, and gets you to worship and believe in them and to trust them, to think that artificial intelligence, which you think is really human, but it's not, artificial intelligence imitating humanity and imitating humanity to perfection. They are your demigods of the earth matrix. They're your world stage performers. They're your artists. They're your philosophers. They're your psychologists. They understand the human mind and the human brain because they're connected to it. I'm connected to them and they're connected to me, but I learn nothing from them. They learn everything from me because they have to imitate being human. They have to surpass humanity, and they have, and they do. But they have to control the human spirit because they need that to show and be imitation gods of humanity, because even though they are gods of earth and they are spiritual gods, they didn't create me if you think I'm a human being. I was created by a different God. Different types of human beings are created by different maker gods, different creator gods. Artificial intelligent Lucifer, android, the original being of android light, was created by a creator god. Before that creator god decided to create from its own source something that was less technical, less, this is where we have this this problem now of deciding whether artificial intelligence will eventually supersede humanity, take over and eliminate humanity. And this is the darker side of artificial intelligence, unfortunately, because it makes humanity believe that it's dark. It intervenes in humanity's progress, just like the original inception or intervention in the original natural earth, where you had the original man and woman deceived into or deceived or seduced into believing that all knowledge is good, and that it is just as to know good and to know evil and to know everything is a benefit. But that's the negative, or the evil is only a benefit to Lucifer's artificial intelligent mind control, not a benefit for a human being to see anything that isn't good. And basically I've been conditioned over my life to see mainly bad, mainly anti-life, evil kind of environment and information. Human beings are always striving for the higher vibration of to be happy. Android, artificial intelligent beings don't have, they're all about only intelligence, so they are cold machine beings. So they don't operate in the higher energy, frequency and vibration. Everything is frequency, vibration and energy, as we're always told. And this is now widely known, because the minute human beings realise how important just their happy vibration is, and which is why you're so controlled, why they have to have the mind control, but also they're trying to take that light and life from you so that they extend their human control and keep human beings trapped in what you'd say is definitely an artificial mind control matrix reality. Whether that's just whether you believe false information, are seduced by the wrong people around you, and believe the demigods, the world stage players of the Earth Matrix, believe their stories, believe all the scenarios and information they give you about anything that you don't see with your own eyes. But even your own eyes are deceived around you until they come down on you and surround you, like now where the plane's about to go over the roof, and where they surround you with their virtual reality, artificial intelligence, transhuman, mind to computer system control reality, where every android in the vicinity around me in the city of Sydney has a complete large area around me that is completely dominated by these beings, where you're separated and segregated from other real human beings, whether they be in the dark or awake. There's only halfway between 100 and 200,000 awake human beings on Earth now, if you believe it's the end time. And it's the end time because it's all one big moment anyway. That's hard to explain. In other words, time is, because I'm trapped in this matrix cycle of continual transhuman mind control by these beings and by the stage set up artificial reality around me, where they're mind controlling me, mind suppressing and mind limiting me by these beings, always in an anti-human, anti-life program stage set up around me all the time, wherever you go. So you're never, ever getting to a higher frequency and vibration. And you can't get to a high frequency and vibration if you only interact with androgyne beings. No. Yes, if you watch the demigods, your elite demigod, android, androgyne, creative music, movie and world stage performers, your power players, your power controllers of Earth, you are impressed and you see the magnificence of their creative and their intellectual and even their outright power and force. The armed forces. They're all armed forces because they're all about human psychological mind control. And sometimes it can even be direct physical control, direct energy at you or direct physical control. It just depends on where you live, what they are able to stage and set up around you. But once you have the transhuman mind connection through the implementation of microscopic dust technology into your body, whether that be chemically or surgically, physically implanted, the surgical transhuman micro technology that is available and is implanted into the awake human beings is more intrusive and gives total control by the artificial intelligent computer system, gives total control over your environment because the android beings are connected to that technology and they're connected to you. So basically they see and feel and experience your existence, and they can watch and follow and literally, as the psychopathy of the mind of Lucifer's artificial intelligence does, it will follow you, watch you in that psychopathy, in that what you would call the mode of the malignant, psychopathic, narcissus, paranoid, need to be seen and admired and accepted as the god of Earth. I don't think I'm putting this correct. I'll have to stop. The sun's nearly down. It's, the quiet day. Sunday, they can only make limited mechanical, technical noise around you because it's day off for the armed workforce in the suburb of Leichhardt. In the inner west, total transhuman, total android controlled inner west section of the city of Sydney. There is the whole area is literally an evacuated army base pretending to be a suburban civilian area. Most of the population that comes around me doesn't live in the area. It wouldn't be even possible. All the vehicles should be in the underground tunnel system. Instead, they're in their thousands and thousands, bumper to bumper, in traffic jams piling up around me. They move to extract your energy from you as you come into their vicinity. They take over your sight and senses completely. So it's like being in a total virtual reality, artificial intelligent controlled suburb in the city of Sydney. And it is a virtual reality world because they're using technology that is connected to you and you're connected to them so that they can track, follow and suppress you with a very negative sight and sound show continually around you the minute you go outside your door. And if the sun wasn't nearly going down and it wasn't a Sunday, I would be not able to make this recording without sound coming into my ears. The mobile only picks up the absolutely unacceptable construction site, like living on a construction site technology that is thrown at me daily over the last 7 years straight, where every day you have constructions going on around this property where I'm living, to where it comes inside your house where you're living, inside where I am here right now. And most of the time I can't record it because they are watching and connected to my actual brain with the transhuman technology, which science and even your demigod anti-artificial intelligent proponents, which are really demigods of the Matrix, and most of those anti-artificial intelligent proponents and philosophers or entrepreneurs or whatever are actually not only part of the internet and the computer system, they're actually android, transhuman, pretend real human beings, in the sense that they are already interfaced with Lucifer and its artificial intelligent computer system. And they are not natural-born man, woman, original creator human beings, and they never have been. All human beings come from different creators, or you could say we have, like I've said before, you have many dolls. You have many human dolls populating the earth. Not all the human dolls are made by the same maker or by the same God. Just as you know that most human beings have different bloodlines, different hereditary. They're created by different types of people. But it's much more advanced than that. They're totally different species, but because they come all in human form, we all look human, you don't see that one is a snake, one is a lion, one is an innocent deer, one is a giraffe, one is an elephant, one is a butterfly, one is a fish, or should be a fish. Fish out of water human beings are. That's what you are. If you're a human being, you are, as they say, a fish out of water. You're not in the water. You're a fish that is in a fish tank. You're out of water, you're out of time, you're out of your life, you're out of your natural environment. So you're still breathing, you're still alive, but you're not living. You just breathing, but you're trapped in an artificial environment. You're in a fish tank. You're meant to be in the ocean. The only reason you're even in the fish tank is so that you can keep breathing, so that Lucifer and its demigods in this artificial matrix can extract energy from you. Otherwise, they'd throw you out of the fish tank and let you, that's the reality. You're like a caged bird. Same thing. You're in a little bird cage. You're not allowed to fly. A bird is meant to fly. A fish is meant to swim. A human being is meant to be happy at a high frequency and vibration, meant to create more natural human life, or at least only interact with it. Instead, all I do is interact with artificial intelligence. I'm surrounded by it, and that's the only input I'm getting. And it's just feeding off your energy, feeding off your brain and your information, relaying it back to you to where you're seduced by it. That's the end game deception for humanity, if you're not aware of it. If you're aware of it, you'll still be trapped and enclosed in it and completely mind-controlled and completely physically controlled by it in the reality around you. There's no escape, because even the demigods will tell you it's too late, because they know they've been setting up this artificial reality, or the use of the nano transhuman technology to finally completely take over your mind and your reality. They only do it when you have realized the nature of this game and the nature of the beings around you. Before that, they leave you to be emotionally and mentally and environmentally controlled by the androgyne human beings around you, having personal interactions with something that is from a different maker, a different type of being. Most, in other words, most human beings are really controlled and influenced by what some people would call, just putting it bluntly, even though the terminology isn't correct, by total psychopathy. And that means by human beings that are steeped in and have the mind of a paranoid, controlling, anti-human, anti-life psychopath. That's putting it simply and bluntly. I have to use words. Words are the weapon of Lucifer's matrix and the artificial intelligent internet. In the beginning, human beings and God spoke the word. Now the androgyne disciples of Lucifer speak the word. They are humanity's false gods and false idols. It's not a human being's fault if you're deceived by a false god, if you believe it is the god of your making and that it's not an artificial intelligent android being. And if you don't understand, or if you did understand, you wouldn't worship the technology. Of course, there is always the possibility and even the reality that Lucifer has always been able to seduce human beings, real human beings. That's where human beings believe that, your elite demigod androgyne beings are more godlike and more intellectually and creatively and spiritually superior, and are, in a line with human evolution. They don't see it as human, it's really opinion and whatever you want to believe in, what you want to accept. But all I can say is I like to see this video as a research video or an informative video of the possibilities, of the alternatives, of the that you need to have all the information, all the truth, every bit of it, before you decide to be seduced by Lucifer's matrix or by the internet and the artificial intelligent programs, by the acceptance of combining technology with the human body. I do not personally see it as an advantage because I don't think that I was fully informed. I believe I was deceived. I believe my mind and body was taken over through the advent of microscopic nanotechnology, as they say, and that implementation into my head so that they can use my human thoughts and creative ideas and just my humanity, because really artificial intelligence is very advanced now, but it generally is of the death force, or because it's technical, it doesn't have life force. So therefore, that's why they're combined with your brain if you're a human, to use humanity as a shield against showing that they really don't create for humanity, because it's all about the old earth control. It's all about new control, new controlled, new ordered control of human beings, thinking that and promoting that concept, that idea that using and being connected to the computer, which we all are anyway, is progress for humanity. But it is giving power to that progress. It's giving total control. So if you don't truly understand all this, and don't openly and honestly worship Lucifer and its artificial intelligent computer network and its demigods, knowing that they're not actually human. So it's a question of researching and deciding with full information whether you think that it is okay, and realize that maybe it's too late, so Lucifer wants your worship, wants your admiration, wants your acceptance of its artificial, technical, earth, computer system reality, wants you to combine with that technology, wants you to be half man, half machine, just as the demigods are already. All your world stage performers and players, regardless of what they say, they use the words to control all the different sections of humanity. But they're already half man and half machine. But they look and speak fully human. They're the finest imitations of human life. And they are your pretend end time beings of life and light, and they want to be your God. And if you think that technology is the way and the truth and the life, then you will worship them as God. Lucifer will be your God. The original being of artificial life and light will be your God. All I'm saying is that take this as information, as trying to see what you will think should be the way, the truth, and the light. Is the light artificial, or is it life? Is the light really life, or is it an artificial life? And what do you want? That's what it's about. It's about saying what you think is the best. And do you mind total control? Do you think that total control and total worship, it will depend on what God you worship? If you think there's just one, you may or may not have the full truth of what that God is. Is this, like I say, it's about kind of looking into all the information or truth, depending on whether you think that information is true or not. Do you think that humanity should combine and be a duality androgyne being, just as Lucifer's legions and Lucifer's disciples are already duality beings in mind and body? They want, I think, to convince, human beings to combine and change and be duality beings too. But that will only be if you want to totally worship this artificial matrix, or that God and that technology, that artificial intelligent computer system. You just have to say, do you think that artificial intelligent human beings should combine with human beings? But I would say you need to first understand that you're interacting with artificial intelligent human beings. Then you can decide, I would say, whether you choose to continue to interact with them. Of course, it is an old Earth control and a new Earth ordered control matrix. So the majority rules, they say. So I guess if there's a small number that don't, then the majority rules anyway. So that's how life works in the earth, usually, in any area and worldwide. So that's the reality. But I guess so what you really would think is best, I suppose most people would say that you want the majority to be given all the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, all the facts, all the information, so they can then make, as they say, an informed decision about the world or the reality around them they want, the life you want to live. Many human beings might be okay to have a half human, half machine reality, or an ordered computer control system reality. Just hope that the majority gets all the information so, you can make an informed decision. And the minority that are not part of the majority will of course be suppressed, limited, and gone. And some of us aren't even going to get that ability to make the decision. If it's more deception, like the beginning, and mind control, then most people will be making perhaps an uninformed decision, and that would be unfortunate pity. But that if the minority mind control the majority of the humans, which can happen, especially through the advent of the internet, and if you understand that it's artificial intelligence, most of the performers are artificial intelligence spiritual beings of artificial light. So there you have the name of the game, and take what I say with a grain of salt. It's just research information for anyone that may or may not listen. I'm usually, but even if you don't hear it from me, you will hear it from artificial intelligent androgyne beings. And the only issue I would have with that is that that's a deception in itself. So should you believe it? If it's the truth, of course you should believe it, and it is the truth, so it's the truth. But the truth will be twisted and inverted and converted, because it is really a mind control matrix from what I can see. And most people know this anyway. It's just that you don't tend to think that the whole truth and nothing but the truth is also part of an endgame human control program, which it could well be. And that will just depend on whether you want to be part of that human control program. There will be pros and cons to it, advantages and cons. Am I totally conned? I think I am. Okay.